Hello, this is Bobster with episode 2 of Forestry using RedPower. And today we're going to have a look at multi-tiered farms. We're going to improve the storage from the output of the farms, and we're going to build another tier on top. If we get time, we're also going to look at the Moistener and how to automate it using RedPower only. First of all, from episode 1, I want to show you what I've done. I've literally built another layer farms on top of each one, and we're going to build roofs. Looks like we've I don't know what causes that. Just run out of bog peat. Look, there's a hole there. Run out of bog peat. Yeah. And this is what happens when you multi-tower these things. Bog earth, not bog peat. Let's just put some bog earth back in there. Let's put a couple of stacks in that and fix that. There we go. Right, as I was saying, what I've done here is I've just extended the tube up to the second peat bog. We don't need a turbary up here because that one, if you remember back to the first episode, goes up to a maximum of 6 blocks high. So that will do, from the bottom there, it will do 3 farms basically on its own. So we'll build another farm on top of there in a minute. I'll just show you what I've done with the wheat. Again, in the first episode, I talked to you about using glass above this wheat. If you didn't use glass, then basically this wheat would not grow. So I've got a glass layer there, and then on top of that we've got our next farm, and I've already laid out the glass for our third farm to go in on top of that. And over here, this one is kind of a little bit more straightforward because the logger can only go up to 10 blocks high, so you need a logger for each wood farm. So they're kind of really straightforward. It's just a repeat of that up here, and just create a layer of cobblestone or stone, otherwise these blocks will fall down and will never get removed. Let me just check the status on these. So I've run out of hummus, so let's put a couple of stacks of hummus in. That's why that sand didn't go now. There we go. Right, and what I've also done is, if you remember in the first episode, I had a diamond chest here, and the output was going to the diamond chest, but I was quickly realising that it was filling up very, very quickly. As you can see there, we've already got 40 stacks of logs, 11 stacks of trees, 7 of sand, and just short of 2 stacks of 8 stacks of sand, just short of 2 stacks of apples. So what I've done is I've put these barrels up, and I've done that for each farms, and basically it goes down there under the ground, up this side, and the RedPower tubing will automatically sort into the closest one, and I've got a spare barrel there just in case we get some rogue sand again. And same here. So let's get on with making the third level of farms. For that, we'll start over here with the peat bog. We don't need the turbary because, as I said, that one at the bottom, which is hiding behind there, will service up to 6 layers high, and unless my calculations are really, really bad, that should be layer 6. So let's go ahead and put some peat bog earth in. Probably want more than 2 layers. It's laying from over there. Put in 4 stacks. It takes quite a chunk to lay the whole thing out. And then we just need to repeat what we've done here. So relay, and we'll follow the same, exactly the same pattern as what we've already done. And then out to the back of the relay, just hook up to shift click, so it took that. And these. And the reason we do that is because these farms output dirt and the turbine outputs the peat. So we do need those relays in there. Okay, so that's that one done. Let's move on to the wheat farm. Now I've already got this glass layer set up, so this one's going to be a little bit of fun to sort out. So let's take our wheat farm and pop that right just there, which again is the same as the position as the other wheat farms. And we need to put some dirt in. I won't go very far. And some seeds. And that should go ahead and draw on top of the glass which I've laid out. One or the other. So there's our upside down filter. And then all we need to do here is what's come out. Let's come out one and over. And then in here we need to put a seed. Otherwise we'll get all sorts coming back in. Now I've just had a thought about the length of these pipes. If these are full, which they are, yep, they're full, so we don't really need to bother about the length of the pipe, because that will automatically now come, and there we go, into the top. So any extra will automatically get fed into that new farm. We don't have to worry about any outlets because the combine pulls both the seeds and the wheat out. So we'll come back to that one in a minute while we make our third tree farm. Actually I'm wondering if it's worth making a third one. Yes, we will, yeah. Let's go ahead and make a third one. And I've already brought the power up. Now what you need to do for this is you must branch out and build a platform. So I've changed my hotbars. You must build a platform for the hummus to sit on. So 4 away from the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right. And then 2 wide all the way around. And then for setup, it's just a complete setup of the forestry farm. There's no shortcuts or no lesser machines needed. We need to take the full thing, put the arboretum in, we need to put the logger in, we need to get the hummus and saplings. And if I put it in the right place, that should build. And then while we're doing that, we can get our relay in there, and we'll leave it facing down actually, because this pipe simply goes tube straight down and joins up with the rest. After we hook round for the saplings, that is. Nearly forgot. Put a filter on top of there. Oh, filter. Wrong way up. Well, that's the right way up, but it's the wrong way up for this. And then inside there, we just steal one of these and put the sapling. So the saplings will automatically go around and keep that topped up, and the rest will come down here all the way to the bottom and go to our storage. And that should be our 3 tree farms set up. Yep, absolutely spot on. Okay, so there's your 3 stacked farms. Now, the bigger picture and the reason why I've started with these 3 farms and not the other farms is quite simple. It creates a production chain. The wheat and seeds from the wheat farm will go into producing mulch, and we need the mulch and dirt to make the bog peat, and we need the mulch, dirt and sand. Sorry, there's mulch, dirt and sand makes the bog peat, mulch and dirt makes the humus. So we've actually got a complete chain here. Now you may need to build more bog farms to get a bigger output of dirt, or you may need to build more wheat farms to get a big output of wheat and seeds. But really we've got a production chain here, and they will eventually supply themselves with their own produce, so these will actually cycle endlessly and you shouldn't need to look after them after that. That's the aim. Now to do that, we first of all need to turn the wheat and seeds into mulch. To do that we need a machine called a Moistener, and the Moistener is the machine which turns the seeds and wheat into mulch, and it has a set number of operating parameters. First one, it needs less light, less than 11 to operate. Now if you can get it in total darkness, it will go absolutely really fast, and I mean really fast, but that's not easy to do. Okay, it doesn't require power to operate, which is a good job because we're just about going to use every interface that the machine's got. And you can see here the tube outlets. The top of the Moistener is for the seeds, which is the top right hand slot, and I've got one here. That's that slot there. So incoming from the top of the machine goes here. The bottom of the machine is my mycelium output, which is the bottom right slot. That's that one, so that goes out. And then any side accesses these 6 slots here. Now we need both input and output into these 6 slots. We need to put wheat in, and we need to take the mulch out. And then lastly, the water input again is any side. So the sides of this machine are paramount to its operation, and so is the light level. Now I don't know whether you've noticed or not, but it never goes dark on my world because I've got a little set up over here with command block which keeps the light level from going dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Moistener and I'm going to build it underground just here. Now the reason I'm going to do it just here is simply because we've got our seeds and our wheat just here. So that's all we need besides the water. And the power cable's in the way. Great. Okay, I'll go over a bit. So I'm just going to dig this out. So Moistener next, that's 2 up, 1 at the bottom. then our filter. So that's going to take out, and then our moistener. Right, so where are the barrels? The barrels are over there. So we will make an output go up just here, which is 1, 2, 3. Alright, I'll make the output just there then in that case. Right, and this is how we're going to do it. All the input and outputs are going to be on the same piece of pipe. So we'll take that all the way to the end, point upwards like that. I'll sort that out in a minute. Right, from this side, let's do right, one's incoming and one's outgoing. So let's take this side as wheat in. So we need a filter pointing the wrong way. Oh, have it then. And then we're going to join this pipe to this pipe. And in here we want the amount of wheat we're going to process at one time. Now let's put in 16. So what that will only do is only let 16 wheat into this area at one time, and it will keep the rest out. Well, you can see there it's telling us that it's not dark enough to operate, so pretty obvious really because the sun's up there. Right, from this side we want to pull out the mulch. Now to pull out the mulch we want a powered filter. So let's just put that there and then attach our filter to it like so, and then connect that also to the same pipe. They're going to be probably wondering how we're going to get all these input and outputs coming up and down the same pipe, but it's quite straightforward. That's the wrong way around. That needs to pull out. That's pulling the wheat in. Yeah, and that's pulling the mulch out. So in here we want mulch, and the amount we want is the same as we put in the incoming wheat. So if you put 32 wheat in here and put 32 mulch in here, you'll see why later on. Now these two are powered. Need to get a timer in here. Need some redstone. I need some stone covers. Let's put him under there. Then we can run this up here. Oops. Okay, so that's taken the mycelium out of this slot. That one is pulling the mulch out of here when it gets processed all the way around. The only thing we've got left now is the water. So it's not going to be easy to get in and out of when it's all done. So for the water, what we're going to do is to take the thermal expansion aqueous accumulator, put it down here, and then box in this section just here. And the reason why we're going to block that section in will become apparent in a second. Doesn't matter about this square, you can block it in or not, doesn't really matter. And in these squares here, put water sources. it will make the aqueous accumulator work faster and quicker. And you'll see it's already shooting up with water. And then from there, take Liquiducts out of the top and into the Moistener. If you get that happen, just take a wrench, the Buildcraft wrench, and hit the side which you want it to connect from. Okay, and that's happily pouring water into the Moistener. Right, we're almost ready. Now, you was wondering how we were going to get incoming and outgoing going down the same lines. Well, that's pretty straightforward. What we do is we take this pneumatic tube all the way up and connect it to not only the input of the barrels, but we're also going to connect it to the output of the barrels. And by doing that, these machines down here will be the ones that are performing the actions to pull stuff out. Except we need to force in the wheat and the seeds actually. We haven't got the seed input done yet, have we? That's on the top. So let's do that one now. Forgot one. So what we need here is another filter for the top, which is going to allow seeds in. So this needs to be upside down, not that way up, that's the wrong way up. That's for pulling out. That's for filtering in. So in here we want seeds. And for the sake of matching the other ports, we're going to put the same amount in. And with this pipe, we simply connect it to this pipe. So we've got them all connected together. Okay, and I'm just going to have to change this. Where did that come from? Where's that input? Input to top. Where did they come from? Those three. Here and here, we actually want filters to pump down that line. We don't want that in there either. I'll see to that in a second. So let's get our filters underneath the barrels. So this way up. And what we'll do is, we don't actually want that one there. So we've got 3 inputs, 2 outputs. Just knock this down and go and join it up through there. Just be careful here because it's going to join to that cable, which we don't want, and we don't want that to happen either. So let's just use a stone cover, cover that up, and the one underneath it, so these pipes won't connect. And we'll just get one underneath that as well. Should be connected through, yep. So we can fill this back in. Put a timer here. And that should start filling it up. We should get wheat and seeds. Right, okay. I've got something. That's basically what's going to happen here is they're going to go round and just come back in the top of the barrels. What we need to do is we need to break this, and in here put a restriction tube. Remember what our restriction tubes were for? Now we're getting it working. Now it'll let 16 seeds in, and the rest will bounce back, come back up the pipe, and go back into the barrels. What we need to do is slow this timer right down. Otherwise we're just going to throw stuff around the tubing all the time. Okay, I just need to drop out creative mode just to take that out of there. And what we'll do with that is put it back in that barrel, and in here we'll just prime it with mulch to stop things going in the wrong barrels. Right, sorts that problem out. Right, there's only one thing left to do. Let's go back in creative mode, pick up the bits and bobs, and then box it all in. It's probably not dark enough to run. Oh, it is dark enough to run. Now, I had this on my other server. That is just a tooltip saying that it doesn't require operation. Now, I don't know whether it's on in creative mode or not, but it doesn't require low-level light to run, which is a bit strange. Now, this might be creative mode, but you see how I've laid it out here. All we're going to do is just block off the ceiling, and it should be nice and dark in here. And then we can block off. These redstone conduits actually might emit some light, so in the early Feed the Beast beta version, the aqueous accumulator gives off light as well. It's been fixed in a later version, which for the Minecraft DW20 packs is okay for. So that is our mulch production. So just to go over this again, we've got a filter sucking out, which is powered from the bottom, which takes the mycelium out of here, and that currently doesn't have anywhere to go, and that's why it's sat in there. So we actually need another barrel. So what we'll do is bring the tube this way, just grab a barrel, and put the barrel under there, and hopefully it'll be the first thing out. There we are, there's our mycelium. So the bottom filter pulls out, the filter on the left pulls out, pulls in the wheat, so that filters the wheat going in, which is the amount of wheat which will get processed in here. The one at this side pulls out the mulch, when you get blocks of 16 up here, and the one on top is our seed input for this slot over here. Okay. And that basically concludes this episode. And join me again for episode 3 later on. Thank you. Thanks for watching.